This is IXL. It's a school-age web-based learning program for kids in K through 12th grade. It claims to be personalized learning experience to accelerate student achievement. It's pretty intuitive. There's a series of questions that you can do. It goes across different subjects such as math, language arts, fine arts, grammar, English. I feel like almost every school in the country uses this, or at least a good majority of them. So if you've got a school-age student, you're no doubt going to encounter this or have encountered this before. So my son right now, he's in 3rd grade, and I've got a daughter in kindergarten. They both use it at their local school. The premise is pretty simple. Whatever topic you choose, you're presented with a series of questions. There's a point system that goes 0 to 100, and as you get questions right, you get more points. Your points go up towards 100. If you get a question wrong, it actually deducts the points. Fortunately, it doesn't go past 0, otherwise that'd be really discouraging. And the faster you answer the questions correctly, the faster your points will accumulate. So this is where the personalization learning aspect of it comes into play, I guess, because it detects the fact that if you're answering the questions more quickly, you generally know more about the subject. You're able to answer the questions correctly and answer them faster, so that it gives you more points, so you'll get to 100 faster, and then the session will be over. However, the opposite does work as well. If you take a long time or answer the questions incorrectly, you deduct points, or you get points deducted from you. That's my problem with this whole thing. So as you can see, here's a math rounding question. 514 rounded to the nearest hundredth. Over here to my right is my score. It goes 0 to 100. I just got a few points. If I get another one right, it's going to continue to accumulate up to 100. If I get one wrong, it's going to deduct points. It does give you an explanation, which is nice, and then you get to move on. If you get the next one wrong, it continues going down, and it'll continue going down. Fortunately, it doesn't go below 0, but this is where my problem lies. IXL is a great learning tool. It can be very effective for different students. Everyone learns differently, but my problem with it is the fact that it does deduct points and causes discouragement. So my son gets super discouraged whenever he misses a point. So I help him with his homework all the time, and we have a lot of these IXLs to do at least once a week, sometimes 2 or 3 different ones a week that we have to go through. And they're fairly straightforward, and they correspond to the subject that he's learning for that week. However, I started noticing that when he gets a question right, not a lot of emotion. He doesn't really care that he got one right. He moves on to the next one. But if he gets a question wrong, he sees the points deduct, and he gets super discouraged about it, to the point of frustration and wanting to quit, all because of silly points are deducting from the screen from him. So that I had a thought that popped into my head about a TED Talk I watched on YouTube. It talked about what he called the Super Mario effect to learning. It's about tricking our brain into learning differently by applying kind of a gamification effect to it. Like in Super Mario, we all remember playing Super Mario, or have in the past. If you jump and fall in the pit, you don't get super discouraged about it. You try again and you remember from it. You learn from it. I need to run a little faster and jump over the pit. Or I need to duck the flying turtle that's coming at me, for example. Well, that's the mentality for the gamification of life and doing this. Turning your problems into solutions via gamification. The TED Talk goes on to explain a study or a test that was done. A puzzle was created and given to 2 sets of individuals. The puzzle itself was actually the same. What was different was one set had points deducted for each time you missed the puzzle. The second set of folks got a puzzle where there was no points. There were no points at all. And so it was cool to see that the people that got penalized for missing the puzzle or for failing the puzzle only had a success rate of around 52%. The people that had the puzzle where they did not get penalized had an average success rate around 68%. And not only did they have a higher success rate, they had a higher number of tries before they either succeeded or quit. The people that got penalized for failing the puzzle only tried an average of 5 times before they gave up. The people who didn't have any penalty at all tried an average of 12 times. Now that was cool to me to see that just a simple thing as meaningless internet points drove people's behavior in different ways. So that got me thinking, what can I do to help my son to help him better with IXL and to help remove the frustration? So being a software engineer, I had a quick answer that I was able to come up with, and I'm going to share with you guys today. It's a little bit technical, but stay with me. It's not complicated. It's not hard. I'm going to show you what I did. Alright, so here we are within IXL, and the SMART score area over here is where I'm referring to. This is where the points are deducted or added based on your answer. So if I right click on this number, for example, there's an option for inspect. I'm going to click it. Now this is where it gets a little scary for non-technical folks, but again, stay with me. It's not that complicated. It's not hard. You don't really have to know what this is all doing. I'm just kind of showing you. So the developer tools come up, and I'm using the Chrome browser, but the new Edge or Firefox, they all have the same functionality. You simply right click on it, do inspect, and you're going to get this tool that pops up at the bottom. It's going to highlight the line that you selected. So if I put my mouse over this line, it's selecting the 61 for me. As I move my mouse around these different nodes, is what these are called, HTML nodes or elements, it'll highlight what it's representing. So I'm going to just go up slightly, and you can see this where it says Statistic Container Smart Score, and you see it's now highlighting the entire block over there. Well, if I simply select it, I'm going to hit the delete key, and it simply goes away. That is all I did. So now, as my son is answering the questions, if he gets one right, okay, he gets one right, great work. It still accumulates the points in the background. It's still going to count from 0 to 100, all the way to 100, and then end the session when he gets to 100. But if he does miss one, it still shows the incorrect answer. It does the same explanation. It actually still deducts the points behind the scenes, but it doesn't show it to him. And that is all that mattered. I noticed an immediate change in behavior. So simply not showing him the points was like a light switch going off, night and day. His attitude towards getting them wrong changed drastically. He no longer cared if he got them right or wrong. He just completed the exercise. He actually ended up getting more right because he wasn't scared to get one wrong. So that's where I had a problem with IXL, and I wish there was a way that you could turn that off a lot easier. I think they need to have a toggle in the parent section where you can toggle the points off. Still the same functionality where it maybe takes you longer to do stuff. It makes you ask some more questions. You know, the same functionality. Just be able to hide the points to not discourage the kid. I think that had a very positive effect. We do that every time. Every time I load IXL for him to get on there and do it, I immediately remove that. It's had a profound effect. So I hope this helps somebody out. I'm going to put a link to the TED Talk I saw down below in the description. Check it out. Watch it with your kids. It's a great video. Talks about the Mario effect and how even us as adults can apply it. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching.